Okay, let's wait for Professor. Professor.
I'm
Yeah.
ready. You can start.
Okay, right. Well, there is not much else to say rather than, well, you will have noticed by now, but each part of this evaluation corresponds to a certain score. For example, each one of these of the speaking section accounts for 25 points each, in total 50 points for the start. And the writing then we have the yeah, the reading section, which is 20 points. And finally, the grammar section, which counts for 10 points. In total, we have created a test that evaluates the three skills. We cannot evaluate listening because it's kind of more complicated, and we thought grammar could be better in this case, a B1 level. However, we consider that for a final evaluation, this is very useful, not only for us as teachers, but also for our students. And we have considered a 100 points scored because it is students have more chances or making mistakes, and also they will create it will be a more how can it say it, more exact measure of their language skills. So so that's it, and hopefully you understood everything we said, and if you have any question, any doubt, you can ask.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions. I don't know if the other students have questions. Okay, well, thank you.
No.
Thank you very much then.
Yeah,
Group one.
Thank you. You have our names there, Prof?
Yes. I have Hugo, Abby Morales, Carolina Macas, and Michelle Romero, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prof.
The next group.
Group two, please.
Eduardo's group.
Eduardo de la Cruz.
Yes, Prof, I'm right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yes, Eduardo de la Cruz, Diana.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are group two. So we're gonna present to you an assessment for a final exam and give you some explanation. On the exam, on the sections and the structure of it.
Oh.
So here we have that we want to integrate 4 skills. So we're assessing reading, writing, listening, and speaking. The reading section contains 2 parts with 8 questions. The writing, only 1 part. The listening, 1 part with 6 questions. And the speaking section with 1 part. We'll go in deeper on this curve um, uh, further. Okay. Here we have the time for the reading. We hope the last 15 minutes, writing 20 minutes, the listening 10 minutes, and the speaking, which is the longest part, will be 60 minutes. That means 2 per student. Here we have the approved signature. Have the reading section right here. Um, here the writing section, the listening section, the speaking, and here we have our answer sheet. Yeah. So once you have seen the whole exam, we can start with our presentation. So Diego Monar, please.
Hello, everyone. You in a general point of view about the principles of assessment. The first principle is practicality. So we have to ask ourselves, are the tests or are tests practical? So yes, we can say yes because it really minister
Uh-huh.
because it has a scoring or evaluation procedure that is specific in time and in this kind of evaluations. Also, this test is reliable because it is consistent within itself in across time. For example, if we have to evaluate all students in 2 groups, maybe we could say it on Monday and on Tuesday. So we will have the same grades or the same average in the 2 groups because we have the same questions and the same rubrics to evaluate. Also, we have valid. The test is valid because it reflects what the learners can do in a language. These tests cover the content that we have been teaching in our class. For example, in the writing section, we are going to to ask students to write a paragraph and starting speaking, we have to, excuse me, to identify if the students have or can answer or respond to the question that the teacher is asking. For example, a question is, what is your favorite sport? In this example, students is going to be able to answer regarding the questions. This is about validity. About authenticity, as you can see, our main objective in this kind of exercise or in this kind of test is to prepare students to function in the real world because we are going to use the target language as much as possible, and also this kind of test is going to contain the language that is natural in the 4 sections, in the writing section, in the speaking section, in the reading, and in the speaking section. And about watchback, so in this case we have two kinds, no, both sides, on learners and on teachers regarding with Watchpad, because in the side of the learner, this kind of test is going to provide them a little feedback to the previous knowledge, and also it provides motivation as well. And in the side of the teachers, this kind of test is going to help them to realize if the students have problems or struggles with any topic regarding the previous school year. And also, the teachers are going to realize or identify common errors that students have. Probably they will have problems in I don't know, in punctuation, in grammar section, or maybe they don't know how to make a sentence. So in this case, we have, as I said before, I I presented you a general point of view regarding with the four sections that we have elaborated. Now we are going to learn about the procedures with Eduardo.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about the administrative procedures and the instructions. First, we want to assure that the student's performance on the assessment will provide information about their language ability. That's why these administrative procedures and giving clear instructions are very important. So when we talk about the administrative procedures, we're talking about three aspects: preparing the test setting, the the fact that providing a supportive testing environment, and finally communicating the instructions. So first, preparing the test setting. Um, and when we talk about this, we're referring to arranging time, the place, and physical conditions for testing, and making sure that the needed material and equipment are available, and obviously making sure that the needed personnel for administering the assessment are available. Now, in this example, as you can see, this assessment is to be administered to a group of students at the same time, the same classroom, and can be administered during a single class period because it is not too long, so it is possible. So we can say that summarizing this information, we can say that the time for this assessment is during the class period, the place, obviously in the classroom. About the physical conditions, here we need a table with a chair for each student, which is very common. But for the speaking part, we can use the desk. The desk that the teacher usually has, and three chairs, one for the teacher and two for students A and B.
Mhm.
About the material and equipment, we need obviously this paper, which contains the exam, a pen, tables, desk, and chairs for students and teachers. About the personnel to administer the assessment, it's going to be the teacher. So then we need to communicate. Oh, sorry. Then we need to provide a supportive testing environment. So as
Yes.
this exam is to be administered during the exam week, we can avoid many distractions. And the speaking section will be tested after the time for reading, writing, and listening. So candidates are not interrupted. You know, sometimes the speaking section of the exam um, is is applied while you are writing. So you get distracted because you need to pay attention when the teacher names you, or you can, or you see your classmates standing up and going to the front. So that interrupts you from doing a good performance. Then we need to communicate instructions that are right here. So when we need to give these instructions, we can give them a week before the exam. In this case, the teacher tells the students that they will be assessed on the 4 skills, as I said before: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And the purpose of the assessment is to give each student a grade that will count as a part of his or her grade of the course, I mean, of the final grade of the course. Now, as this is a summative assessment, the main idea is not providing feedback. It is just about giving them a grade in order to know if they can pass or not the year. So in this case, they're gonna be given 45 minutes for, let's say, the reading, the writing, and listening, and as I said before, 60 minutes for the speaking section. We can also tell them, or we can provide them the exam format and give them some instructions about the sections that it will contain. As I said before, all this is going to be done a week before the exam.
A week before,
So,
yes.
yeah, so we can tell them that they need to write their name, class, and date on the answer sheet that is at the end of this paper, right here. Um, we can also read instructions for each part of the exam, as we have right here. For example, for the reading part, we can say we can read them. We can say to them that they will need, or they will be asked to read the prospectuses for 2 different English courses, and then complete some charts. And also for the writing section, we can say to them that they're gonna be asked to write an email, so they can be ready. They can check or review the structure of the email that we have already checked in our classes. Yeah. Then on the day of the assessment, once again, we need to give a brief review on the instructions and answer any doubt. So once again, we can read with the students these instructions, and that they need to write their answers on the answer sheet using a pen. Then they need to complete the answer sheet within the written time. And once the time for reading, writing, and listening is over, hand in both this question paper and the answer sheet. And obviously, as I said before, in order to provide a supportive testing environment, we just added this instruction that is, in any doubt, do not hesitate to ask for help. So they can feel free to ask for information in case that they need it. So then how can we make instructions understandable? We need to take into consideration the language. Although using the student's native language may seem perhaps improper, it is possible.
Not necessarily.
It is possible to do it since we're working with beginning level students. I just forgot
Exactly.
to
It
mention
makes
that
sense.
this exam is going to be applied on beginning level students. That's an A2 level. So as they are beginning level, we can provide some information. We can clarify any doubt in their native language, that's Spanish. But as I said, we can start by giving their instructions in English. But if they need more information, if they have doubts or they just don't get the instructions, we can use Spanish. Okay, about the form, as you can see in this exam, we have the instructions in a written way, although we are going to explain to them orally. They also have the chance to read them. So here we have all the written instructions, so they don't have any doubt. Okay. And finally, we can say that this exam has short and simple instructions, as you can see, which we consider that is appropriate considering the level of our students. So that's all about the procedures and the instructions.
Great, thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to explain to you the scoring methods that we apply in our assessment. So,
Okay, Diana. Yes.
yes, so with the reading part first. Okay, in this section, scroll down. Yeah, that. Okay, so in the part one, we have a select response. In this case, there is a matching task. And for the part two, the students need to choose between true or false. So within the next. In the writing part, this is a extended production response. In this case, the students' response are longer than a single sentence or utterance. In this case, they have to write an email, a paragraph, a short paragraph. It could be of 3 sentences or 4 sentences, no more. The next. In the listening part, we have also the select response. In this case, is a multiple choice task, because here we have the students have to choose the correct answer. So they have different options and they have to choose only one option. And next. And finally, we have the speaking part. For this part, we apply the limit production response. In this case, the students respond to a short sentence with a single phrase or a short sentence and no more. So as you can see, the questions are short and they can answer only with a word or with a sentence. Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Okay, now concerning with the scoring, the way of scoring, First, well, we have 4 parts. We are measuring all the 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So for this assessment, we provide to each section different marks. For example, in reading, we have 2 parts. The first with 13 points. Reading with 13 points, writing with 5 points, listening with 6 points, and speaking with 12 points. So each one have a different percentage. That is the first 40, and the next 3 over 20%. So please scroll down to the answer sheet, please. Okay. So now to the first the writing part. Well, in this part we decide to use a rubric. In this case, it is a holistic rubric because as we are giving this assessment to basic learners, so we consider that a holistic rubric will be useful to them. So we consider to divide in 5 parts. So in this case, we only need to have a look about all the work doing into the activity. So in this case, please. Okay. So in this case, to be sure that the message that they write have they can communicate in a well-structured way their message. So and that the organization has the basic has a basic a basic organization to the level, in this case, that it is a one. And the rubric for speaking, it is an analytic rubric. It is in this is considered 3 aspects. The first is grammar and vocabulary. The other is pronunciation. And the other is the communicative purpose, interactive communication. So here we need to measure to the different criteria in there to know how the students can communicate their ideas and express themselves with this activity. So for this part, each section has different marks, how I mentioned before, but all joining all these parts, all these scores in this part, we need to get a final score that is over 10. So in each section, we are going to make a rule of 3 to obtain the different mark to when we summarize all the tests, we can get the final that is required to the students and to take the teacher to present to the school. So that will be all. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Anita.
That would be
And
all. Thank
yes,
you.
and that's all, right? Group 2. No? Are you finished with your presentation then?
Yes, it is done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I guess we have a very just a few minutes, Abby, before this session
Yes,
is over.
we have
Yes.
8 minutes.
Yeah. So there's no time for a new whole group. So let's close this session. Wait a few minutes until the next session is ready. Abby, please let us know when we can enter this new session. And then when we're back, we're gonna have groups
Armando,
3 and probably groups 3 and 4, no? Hopefully groups 3 and 4, so we can do both. Or we can do group 3 and then group 4 in the new session. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's have this little break now then.
okay, Armando's group, please be ready.
Armando's group.
Get
Thank
ready.
you.
Thanks.
So Armando, please.
Okay.